I dated a girl that absolutely obsessed over the X File, and so I, being a good boyfriend, I watched it, and she liked it enough. She loved it enough that she actually gave me one Christmas. She actually went out there and bought those X File comic books
Oh, okay.
because I had all the issues. I had the I had the variant, the ash can.
You had the variants.
Yeah, I think issue one is that it's like an ash can. You like the very first issue have the picture of the two star.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever seen the first issue? There's an ash can or the variant or whatever you're gonna call it. I don't remember, but there is a version where it's like not color. It's like black and white.
Okay. It's funny you mentioned that. For the longest time on eBay, the Ash Can Flash Comics #1. I see it all the time. Have you seen it on eBay?
Yes.
Exactly. You know what I'm talking about? What
Yes.
I always wondered what is that? What exactly is that? Is that the
It's
first
an ash
issue?
can. It's
That
well,
was a close one, boys.
the term ash can is for how should I say it? It's like books that was produced but not for
The public?
yeah. It's maybe Patrick has a better way to explain it. Patrick, if you have a good explanation for Anthony as far as what is an ash can book.
Ashcan book is a term that they hand those out like at cons and things like that. The term gets its name because when those first came out, people literally would throw them. If you see old footage of the 30s and 40s, there was burning barrels on street sides, and people would literally throw magazines and newspapers out in them.
Oh, okay. Because
That's where it gets the term ash can from.
Okay.
People didn't recycle back then. The idea of recycling was burn it. It worked during the plague, right? They burned all the bodies. So just
That's
burn
right.
the newspapers.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
Let's see, is the chat live? I think so. Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to the chat. We were chatting away and didn't realize that we popped up the chat. Looked like Scott Farr is here, Robert Finnerfrox, Lord Tatman, Stephen Oates, Stephen Wilkinson, and Knights of O. Hello, welcome to the Wednesday night
Welcome,
chat.
everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, once again we have Anthony here as a special guest for another week.
Yes, yes. It's good to be back. I had a lot of fun
And look at
last
me.
week with both of you.
I'm all bundled up here.
Yeah, what is it? 80 degrees? It's getting a little chilly there.
Yeah, can you believe it? It's actually 43 degrees.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, there's a new weather term I hadn't heard on the way home. It's like, I can't remember. It's really weird sounding, but it's supposed to be like a Arctic vortex where the panhandle of Florida might see snow. What's it?
A cyclone.
No, it's not a cyclone. It's got a weird name.
Cyclone boom?
It's something really weird. It sounds like a made up thing. It sounds like a bossa nova song or something. I heard on the way home and I thought, is this weatherman drinking or what's going on?
Yeah, Nick, we're about to get hit with some snow up here.
Yeah,
I mean,
I heard Boston is going to get a foot. Actually, I think part of Florida did get a little snow yesterday.
Okay.
So that was some kind of record yesterday. So yeah, it's the last 2 days here in Florida. We actually had to put on the pants and long sleeves jacket.
Oh man.
Anthony actually complained it was cold for the first time this year. He actually was like, "Oh man, the wind is so cold."
Is he back to school this week? He is, right?
No, he's still in school. No, he's still out of school.
Oh, okay.
That's why I can run the chat a little bit extra long today if we want to, because he's staying up to midnight, whatever he wants to do.
Oh, okay. Good for him. Yeah. I remember those days.
Yeah, those are the best.
Yeah,
now it's funny when you get older, you can't wait to going to bed is a privilege.
Yeah, I find myself falling asleep earlier. I used to love staying up late. Now I can barely keep my eyes open.
Now you got to get up at 5 or 6 o'clock. You're not staying up till 1, 2 in the morning anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Patrick knows this, and he's the one that helped me with this. I finally got my stamper with, to mark down my books the way everybody does. This from the personal collection of Reaper Tate. finally, I was planning to do this for a while, and I finally selected a stamper. And
Yeah.
Have you ever explained where your handle comes from?
Reaper Tate.
Yeah.
Part of it, yes. Big shock here. You know, I'm a big video game fan. Just in case.
Really?
Just in case I never let anybody know.
It's not totally obvious what's behind you either.
Oh shit! I didn't even know I had that. I always wondered what these things were behind me.
Nice secret is out there.
Wait. Speaking of which, okay, where do I get my name from? Let me see if I could reach over without yanking the mic out of the computer. Let's see. I have long chimpanzee arms, so I think I could reach up. Yeah, I got that. I was at my local comic book shop, and I asked to see a book on the wall, and the guy says, "Yeah, just go reach over." And I'm reaching over, and they're both staring at me, and I realized, wow, I do really have chimp arms, don't I? The way they're just like so long and thin. But let me see. Yep, my chimp arms didn't fail me.
Nice.
Okay. See this game here?
Fable. Yeah, my son used to play that constantly.
Okay, maybe he might remember. There's a part in the game where you can take a name. Now, obviously, the game is not going to say Anthony, so it has preset names. You can call yourself like whatever, Stallion or whatever the hell. One of the choices was Reaper. And every time I took the name Reaper, and every time I'd pass by one of those non-playable characters, they would say, "Oh, hello, Reaper," and all that stuff. And I just stuck with it. And that's how I got my name. And the numbers in it it's my birthday.
Yeah. I figured that part out. But,
yeah.
But is Tate like you had like an affinity for eating tater tots or something?
No. That just it's just another one of those things that just popped up in my head. It doesn't really come from anything too specific, but the main thing is the Reaper part, and obviously the numbers. Yeah. So
from Fable.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
All right, we're gonna have a quiz like a year from now and see if anyone knows that.
And they better get it right too.
They better. The Reaper will come to their house.
You're not gonna get that stamp on the phone.
On their forehead.
But I remember you talked about how you got your name, Patrick Luther Manning, on one of your videos.
Yeah, I did. It was one of my first or second video. So yeah. I just thought it was a good handle because I lurked forever with my regular Gmail email for probably 2 years.
Okay.
And I watched everything on YouTube, movies and TVs and pretty much anything. And then I looked up cleaning comic books because I wanted to see what else they were doing. And the guy there with the red hat on had a little video, and he was very quiet, and he used the board to cover up, and it was funny. So I watched that, and then I'm like, wait a minute, this guy has more videos. I'm like, wait a minute, he has a whole channel dedicated to comic books. So I'm looking at him, and then I'm like, who's this Dr. Von Chilla guy? What the hell's going on? So I click on that, and then I start realizing that you guys all had channels dedicated to this topic. And that they were all kind of interconnected. So that's how it was like, you find one person and then you find another and on it goes. And it's funny because I noticed there's a lot of younger guys and they have a similar path to where they see one of, they always mention, oh, I found this guy named ETA Nick. And I think one just happened this week, Nick, where a guy was talking about how many of your videos he's been watching. Nice. I can't remember his name because we both commented on his video. He's a newer guy, but he found you the same way I did, and he found you. He found Reaper that way, and he found a bunch of the other people that way.
You know how I found Nick? This is how I found Nick. When I first started watching YouTube comic book videos, one of the first guys that I started watching was, I think, Lightning 20. I always forget the numbers at the end, and I shouldn't because I usually have a good memory. But Lightning 2988 or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Rich. And I remember I was watching one of his videos. He's talking about collections, and then he mentions this guy ETA Nick, who has this awesome comic book collection. He's like, he was absolutely floored by it, and I was like, oh, let me check this guy out. And here I am. I found you. But that's how I found out about Nick.
Well, for me, for sure, you know, as I mentioned the story many times, I was not even aware about the community. You know,
Yeah.
I just make a video to share with a couple of collectors friends I know, and you know, it was Hero Hunter that
Mm.
ups to me. And he asked me a bunch of questions. He's just like, "Whoa, you know, you have more to show." I guess he was the very first comment. Like the friends that I made the video for to share, they watched the video, they email me their comments, they, you know, the normal way that they would communicate with me. So, but I think like maybe a day or two after that first video went up is when Hero Hunter stumbled across my channel, my only video, and he's just like, "Whoa, cool video, cool books, whatever." And we start to communicate, and next thing you know,
Yeah.
I sub to him, watch some of his video, and then it snowballed from there.
Same thing happened with me. It was Hero Hunter, Lightning, Spidey Fan. They all subscribed to me, and it was just like a giant snowball that just kept going down the mountain. Everyone was subbing me and all that stuff.
The sad thing is, I would say at least half of the guys that I sub to or exchange or communicate with in the first 6 months are gone.
Mm.
At least half, if not even more than half. There's a lot of YouTubers that went away.
Is this back in 2009, Nick, when this happened?
No, it was 2012.
Okay, all right.
The end of 2012.
All right.
Yeah, that's right when I got on, probably early 2014.
Mm.
Yeah, it was the end of 2012 because I bought that camera for myself on my birthday of 2012, and that's when those videos start to come up. But yeah, so anything I saw Patrick did a haul video already.
I still have to watch that. I have to watch that tomorrow morning.
Well, it was a cross-off video.
Cross-off video, yeah.
Yeah.
For his 2018 list.
Yeah, two books actually off the list. So.
Do you have a top 10 list, Patrick? It's top 10, right? Okay, so wow. Already two gone. It's already like the third day.
I know. I know. It's like I got one each day so far.
Yeah, but I shouldn't talk. I already have 4 of them.
I know.
So,
I've been pretty busy. Actually, I checked CGC submission today, and my set of books are ready to be picked up.
Nice.
Cool. Very nice, man.
Are you gonna brave the cold and get them?
Unfortunately, I found out after 5 p.m. when they close.
Okay. More to, because normally you try to drop off when you pick up. You have some to drop off.
Well, normally, the way CGC do it is like you got to call ahead.
Oh, that's right.
Time you want to do it, because I found out after they close, so there's no way for me to. So even if I want to pick up tomorrow at 5 p.m. before they close, I cannot.
Mm.
So my plan is to call them first thing at 9 a.m. tomorrow and say, hey, you know, what's the best time for me to stop by? And then they will tell me, you know, Friday or Monday or whatever it is. And
wow.
If it's Friday, if we can do it Friday, then Anthony and I will drive up there. Anthony will see CGC for the first time.
Oh, okay, cool.
I can take him inside CGC and he can see the inside. I mean,
I should do a video.
Yeah, Anthony, he's well aware of slabs. He's seen enough slabs, so I'm sure he will come along. But if I can't, then it would be probably next Monday when I can pick them up. So for those that remember, I submit a bunch of stuff, nothing key except for Spider-Man 129. That one came back 8.5, which I that.
That's a beauty.
And then I submitted 3 copies of Teen Titan 2, Deathstroke.
Mm-hmm.
3 of those. I thought it was a 9.2, a 9.4, and a 9.6. That was my prediction. I got 2 9.4.
Oh, look at that.
And a 9.8.
Oh.
So nothing to complain about. Okay.
No.
And then I have a few other. I had like a Spider-Man 238 and a DC Present 26. You know, they're both 9.4s as well. So basically, everything came back in the realm of my expectation.
Oh, nice. Okay. 238 with tattoos, right?
With tattoos, it's a 9.4, and a DC Present first Teen Titan, or first
Cyborg,
whatever it is. It's a 9.4. It's no big deal. Hey, I have 3 copies. Might as well snap one and sell it for $150 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have no idea what the 9.4 for that book is. But
Well, there you do one of maybe those buy it nows that you've been talking about.
yeah, I posted a bunch of books on the CGC forum.
Okay.
Was this is my plan. My plan is post some of the bigger items in the CGC forum, and if they don't sell there, then I will consign them with the dealer. The smaller, cheaper stuff, I will sell on YouTube, and that will be next week. Because my plan is, after Anthony go back to school, I have more free time to shoot videos and stuff like that. So that's the plan. So maybe next week will be the first time I will post of videos of some books up for sale, some lots up for sales.
Yeah,
But that's it.
that sounds good. Sounds good. Be interested to see what other books you got that you're willing to do over the next.
Well, I will post up that Spider-Man 129 for sale if anybody interested.
I already got one.
I have a coverless one.
Now it's time to upgrade, Patrick.
Yeah, I guess.
I got that.
8.5 is too nice for my collection.
Let's see what else. What else?
Patrick, you're still looking for that House of Secrets 92, right?
I am.
Yeah, I told you. I texted you yesterday. I went back to that shop in Doylestown, and I was depressed because Patrick wasn't there with me. It seemed like I was like, this is where.
Was it still as creepy?
It wasn't as creepy. For some reason, it was just creepy when you were there.
Well, to be fair, I was naked from the waist down, so.
No, it wasn't as creepy. No, that night
it was so close to Halloween.
Yes, and it was
that
dark.
time of year where it's warm out, but it's kind of just cool enough. You have to wear a jacket, so if you're in a t-shirt, you're a little chilled. And there was people mulling around in that alley. It was odd.
Yes, it was like sometimes we'd get occasional.
I kept waiting for them to take masks off, and they were really robots.
Yeah, it was like a Twilight Zone episode.
It really was. It was a very weird little town.
But the owner was still there. I think he recognized me, but I didn't. I wasn't gonna.
Did you buy anything?
I did. I bought the rest of those EC reprints that we left there in October.
They've been bugging you ever since.
Yeah.
Here's the best part. Tell them who you took with you.
Oh no, Little Reaper. Yeah, no, we didn't have any Zap comic incidents where he runs off into the back and you see things flying around and
the tornado. I'm telling you, the living tornado.
He's funny though. Like when we try to get him out of certain situations, he throws himself flat on the floor and just lays motionless, like face first.
It's like a possum move. That's not bad.
He does it, yeah. Like he's playing dead.
Yeah.
Like, I still grab him by his legs and hang him upside down and carry him off. But
a quick break here. I see Jay the Planet East is on here. He's I believe he's in Poland.
Never see Jay the Planet before. So
yeah, he's new. I think he's from Poland.
Yes. Oh. So welcome Jay to the planet.
Welcome to I see Rob's here from the great legend Thomas Churchill.
Yep.
Tech
Yes,
Tech 31, you know him?
Oh
yes.
CGC board.
Yes.
Yeah, I post the thing is, the CGC forum, they changed so much that I didn't realize that they did something to kind of I basically lost my identity on the CGC forum.
Oh no.
I post a bunch of stuff for sales today, a bunch of slabs, and I didn't realize that I'm like, I show up as a noob instead of like somebody that in 2009 with 5,000 comments and
everyone probably thinks you stole those comics.
I'm sure some people look at my for sales and say like, who is this new guy with a bunch of high grade stuff? What's this camera?
This is yeah.
I see Bet Cave Comics 83. I think he's from England, right?
Yes, Russell. Hey, Russell.
Russell from the UK.
Yes. Who else is that? I wanted to make sure I didn't.
Tech 31. He's got one of the best collections I've seen. I've seen a few of his.
Yeah,
videos.
Tech 31 though, man. I had to say though, I wish you still have that 5.0 Tech 31.
I enjoyed seeing it though.
Yes, if you don't know Tech 31, he has a video before he sold the book. He made a video of his Tech 31. it's a beauty. I mean, Ben made good money. Trust me, Ben didn't cry to the bank. You know, he made serious buck with that book. But I would rather keep that book and not buy the other stuff.
You like the book so much.
Called Redbeard too. I about 10 years ago, you could have called me that. Now I'm not Redbeard anymore.
But what the thing is, Ben, I believe Ben sold the Tech 31, used the money to buy a lower grade Tech 31, and bought something else. So it's not as if like he does not have a Tech 31.
That's a good move. I like that move because then you're playing with the house's money.
Yes. So yes, Ben confirmed that he has a 2.5. So hey, it's not.
I'll take that one.
Yeah, 1.8 would be fine.
I'll take a 0.5.
I think a 1.0.
Way down.
I won't be picky. Yes, Ben 5.0 did have a fairly big dust shadow on the front cover, but it's not very dark. You know, it's one of those dust shadow that is there. It's not like a big ugly brown strip, but it's there.
Yeah, I passed. I had a giant size X-Men 1 in my hand last summer that had one of those across the top, and I couldn't get by it.
What grade was it, Patrick?
It was a 7.0 probably.
Oh, okay.
But it was, you know, it was tannish and it was perfectly centered. But I think actually being perfectly centered accentuated the tannish line across the top.
Oh, believe it or
not, tell
not,
that it was in a stack of books, and it probably creeped out a little bit more, and that part got exposed. So that's what caused it. But
believe it or not, Patrick, that shop owner in Doylestown still had that X-Men 94 on the wall.
Oh yeah, I figured he would.
Yeah, I don't think that was going anywhere.
No, I almost think it's one of those things too where he doesn't want to get rid of it because it seemed like he felt like that legitimized his wall.
For the most part, yeah.
That's probably true. He had a really rare book there that you were excited about. It was like
Milk and Cheese one he had. I already had it, so I didn't.
Did he still have that there?
I don't think so, no.
And then he had Aquatine there as well. That's probably gone too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's Milk and Cheese. I think you're that Aquatine. You're thinking. I
don't know. It's edible items with eyeballs. That's
it's milk. That's Milk and Cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bizarre comic. But he had the first print. I think he had 2 of them when we were there, Patrick. And you know that's pretty.
Yeah, I don't collect rare or independent stuff that much besides, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I have of course Crow.
Oh yeah, I got Crow.
The one independent book that I want and I keep missing it. Every time I see it, I'm a step behind. Too late is Cerebrus 1.
Oh
yeah.
That's the only one that I would like to have because I do like Cerebrus. I do like that character. The part. But that's
the other one is I think I have the number one is Gru. Is that one? GROO?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I can't remember. Is that Sergio? Aragonés?
Aragonés?
Yeah, I think that's who that is. It's from the 80s. I would say it's like 83 maybe.
Yeah. The rarest independent book I have is Albedo 2.
Yep. So with the bunny on it, right?
Yes, the cute little samurai bunny.
Yeah, for me, one of the rare independent book that I have that is not worth a lot of money is that first Elf Quest.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I've seen that book. Yeah.
That orange one. That one is like so. It's fairly rare. Well, I would say it's like super rare. I'm guessing like 10,000 copy or something like that. So it's fairly rare, but it's a very cheap book. You know, it's not like you can find a nice copy on eBay for like $100.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's and Elfquest is a very popular independent. It's the first independent title that was successful. You know, and it's just funny how for years and years and years people was praying that the media, the big corporates, buy that franchise and make something out of it because of the Elfquest. You know, can it be a TV series or movies? Sure. You know,
was Elfquest on the one that they would do like little parts of on the back of comic books? It was like Dungeons and Dragons characters.
Well, no, it's just Elf. You know, you guys talk. Let me go grab and show you.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about, but I don't think I've ever seen the bookie's first issue.
I don't. The orange cover's not ringing a bell with me.
Yeah, but that's Cerebus the Aardvark. That's
As
a
far
good
as
one.
Elf comics go, this is the finest Elf cover ever.
Well, it's close enough. It's Alf.
It is Elf. It's gratuitous.
It certainly is. That's a pretty cool. That's a pretty cool cover.
Yeah, I have. It's part of this whole collection that I have. Then you got other weird things like this cover. What's going on there?
Oh man.
Look at this one's face. And I like how she's looking over her shoulder for approval.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty bizarre.
It's creepy.
It is the very first Elf Quest. And you see the orange color.
Oh, I remember that now.
What was that? What was that? Mid 70s, Nick?
No, it's 1980. 1980?
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know it was in the 80s.
Let me look. If I had to guess, I think it's 1980 because my store, my LCS at the time was a very big player in the independent scenes for you, Reaper, like Comical.
Oh.
That's that line. That's my LCS.
Oh.
The Comical Primer, that's my LCS.
Oh. I love those. I have all those. Those I really like.
If you could see my LCS back in 81, 82, when I discovered it was independent heaven. ElfQuest was everywhere. There was ElfQuest magazine everywhere. That's why they carry Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle #1, which I passed over.
Yeah.
I told that story many times. I saw the books, and it was like all they had like 3 copies on the stand, and the black covers, it was all banged up. Every issue was creased up, and being a high grade snob that I was, no, I'm not paying 50 cents for this book that looked like shit.
So let me ask you, Nick, what made you turn from being a high grade snob?
Oh, I was wrong. 78.
78. Okay, I kind of figured it was 70s.
I thought it was 1980, but high grade snob.
You say you used to be a high grade snob, but you're clearly not anymore. Well, what changed? Was it that All-Star 8?
I'm trying to figure out when, because I have like a full run of X-Men from 90 to 98. So when did that start to change as far as me not wanting all the slabs? I don't think there was any one moment.
Okay.
But if I had to pinpoint where I changed was when I switched over to buying Golden Age keys. Because up until, you gotta understand, I was buying 9.0. I mean, I bought X-Men 9.0.
Yeah.
The lowest Silver Age keys I have was AF-15 6.5.
Yes.
So for me, it's just like anything below 6.5 is just fugly. I'm just like, this is just nasty stuff. But when I start to look at like Batman 1, Tech 31, all those things, and just like, there are a certain charm in low grade books. And I think that was the beginning of my mental change in just like,
that was the genesis of it all.
So, it's not as if like it's like one thing that changed it, but the more I look at Golden Age books to buy, the more I kind of appreciate low grade. And I think that was the beginning of me saying, I don't need all this plastic laying around. And, so yeah, it's a combination of a bunch of things, not just one thing.
Yeah.
And I just didn't care to own slabs anymore. I enjoy the smell of pulp, all that stuff. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of different things, and part of not wanting to collect slabs is also doesn't care much about high grade either. I mean, to me, it's just like, sure, I can still have high grade, but when you collecting raw, it's kind of silly to flip through 9.8. It's the chance of damaging the books. I mean, I still do. I mean, but I like I don't want the hassle or the worry of flipping through a 9/8 book.
Yeah. You know, I don't blame you. I think about the guys that have the vintage cars at the car shows and they have the chamois, and you can tell that car gets trailered to the car show and then it's put back in a conditioned garage. I'd rather have a 1950s pickup truck that still looked decent, that I could drive around and have that vintage look and not worry about, you know, having stuff in the back or whatever. I think that's where it came from for me. I know. And then when I saw what people would pay for a 9/8, because, you know, I had a Amazing Spider-Man 300 9/8, and, you know, a guy offered me $2,000 for it. So how do you not take that?
Yeah, it doesn't make too much sense not to take it.
Because like Nick said, I never touched those books because I thought if I touch these, just turning the page, a 9/8 could turn to a 9/6, and that's a huge price drop. So I'd rather have books too that I get at. Now, I did get this, you know, but I couldn't find one raw that I was happy with.
Oh, looks good to me.
Yeah,
looks nice.
It's a slab, but I normally don't like to buy slabs, but, you know, I couldn't find one that I was happy with. And sometimes it still happens. I don't think I'm going to crack it, but yeah, I get it. I get what he's saying, because I don't know.
Yeah,
no, it makes sense.
Well, here's a little tidbit about ElfQuest. Okay, so ElfQuest was first introduced in Fantasy Quarterly. Okay.
Okay.
And it was, I guess, Wendy. For those that doesn't know, the creator of this magazine is probably one of the first woman creator beside, you know, the few that work for Marvel. And she's a beautiful, gorgeous. If you go on YouTube and you look at old videos of cosplay, there are a bunch of videos with her dressed as Red Sonja.
Oh.
She even appeared in like the Dick Cavett show, but she used to appear at cons with the whole Red Sonja outfit. Beautiful redhead. So she did this, and her husband and her didn't like the quality, so they took a while. It took a while for them to switch over to the bigger magazine size. Okay, so issue 1 of the magazine is actually the reprint of that orange book.
Okay, I'm almost certain that was a game too.
Yeah, and
sounds like it.
What's neat about all these ElfQuest magazine is they all have beautiful art on the back cover. See, that's the back cover right there. So that issue 1. So a true issue 2, as far as like new story, is issue 2, and I love them. You know, I mean, when I was in my early 80s at my LCS, I didn't buy these books, but I definitely admire them from afar because they are beautiful. So this is issue 2, and check out this back cover.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's fun. I had the whole run. Well, I had the whole run before. ElfQuest went through the hand of Marvel as well. There was ElfQuest books that was published by Marvel, and then for a long time there was talk about movie and TV series and all that stuff, but that kind of died. Especially, you know, around the time when Lord of the Rings came out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So when the first trilogy of Tolkien hit the big screen, there was a fever for this book because people was thinking, oh, you know, people are loving the elves, so ElfQuest is the next thing.
Everything Middle Earth was big.
Yeah.
Were they wrong? But yeah, so I like it, but you know, back then I didn't buy it because it was black and white. You know, that's the same reason why I really didn't want to buy the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle #1. I'm like, oh,
that's why I put Walking Dead 1 back on the rack. I had it in my hand and I put it back. Well, I'm not paying this much for a black and white comic.
But now I appreciate it. I'm just like, dang, you know, what was I? Hey, that's how we all are. We all mature in a different way.
We all learn our lessons.
Yeah, but yes.
Not always so. I still make mistakes. I just see we got a whole bunch of new people on here. Creature, I think he's fairly new to the community.
Oh yeah, hey Creature.
I've seen a few of his videos. He
Yeah.
reminds me of I have relatives down south. He's got that draw a little bit.
Yes, he does good videos. He does good videos. He explains every book.
Yeah, I see Alex is here. Hey, Alex.
Hey, Alex.
Deadpool 2323.
Hey, Aaron.
I think he had some kind of contest going on. I saw a couple videos.
Before I put these things away, and
JLS Comics. I just watched one of his videos today.
one of the very first independent title is, of course, ElfQuest was published under Warp Graphic, okay, and Warp Graphic, WARP, stands for Wendy and Richard Pini.
Oh, the creators.
So it's like I said, it's one of those independent success story that often are forgotten. You know, long before Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, long before everybody else.
Image, yeah.
Yeah.
Did those characters get reprinted under the Epic headline for a while?
Yeah, like that's when I said they were bought by Marvel.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. I remembered seeing the little Epic logo above ElfQuest.
Yeah, like I said, they changed hands a couple of times. I'm not sure who owns them now. I have no idea. I know they still publish books, and I know Wendy and Richard are still active. If you go on YouTube and type in Wendy and Richard Pini ElfQuest, there are a zillion video of them. So they still there. They still talk about, you know, potential movies and all that stuff, and you know. But well, yes,
Hollywood is devoid of originality, so sooner or later it'll get its turn.
Yeah, but yeah. So when it comes down to independent keys that are dirt cheap, this one, no doubt in my mind, that's a dirt cheap keys.
And he's gone.
Yeah, put him back on the rack here. So yes, I bought some stuff. Hopefully, I will do a haul video next week.
Did you get any more of those books in?
No, but I finalized another order today. I finally had enough books. I told him, let's finalize it, because I think what I ordered fit another box. You know, I buy like he shipped about 13 books or so in one of those boxes. Yeah, he put a lot of cardboards and all that stuff. So even though he shipped in those priority medium-sized box, it's like this thick, he only shipped like 13 books or so in them. So if I order like 25 books, he always throw in free stuff too. So if I order like 25 books, he usually throw in like 5 books. So I end up having like 30 books. So he put like 15 or so in each box. So I think I got like 13 or something like that, based on what we have been exchanging back and forth in the past since Christmas. And so I told him to like send me the bill. Let's finalize it, because I think I have enough to fill up a box. So yes, there's another box coming. Madness. That's all I gotta say. Madness. It's
nice. I'm looking forward to it. Fun, because I think everyone on here gets to see them all, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's Neil Adams galore, and also Bronze Age Spider-Man. OMG! Oh my God! You know, it's well. I bought the Spider-Man 129. Okay, that one is just stunning. He looked, but he said that there's no 101.
Is there a 102?
There is no 101. He hasn't shown me 102 either. He has shown me 100, which I passed because that was kind of like mid-grade. But I bought a bunch of Bronze Age Spider-Man. So in the box will be a bunch of Bronze Age Spider-Man and a bunch of DC, a bunch.
You're getting into the DCs. That's what he said. Most of it's DC, so that's good that he's finally getting to them.
Yeah, it's a bunch of DC, and so yeah, so that would be the third batch since Thanksgiving. So we'll see. We keep on rolling. We'll keep on rolling, and Seemed like every time he said, Nick, I'm ready to show you some more stuff, I end up buying a bunch. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't, you know, right now it's kind of con season up here is kind of slow. I don't think there's really anything until probably February, maybe end of February.
Yeah. This right now is the best time to submit books. Okay. If you
fast turnaround time, yeah.
Because when con season is slow in the winter like this, it's the best time to submit to CGC because they don't have a backlog. Well, the backlog is still there, but they're not bringing in more backlog by taking time off to go to the convention. Okay, it's a double whammy because when they go to the convention, this is the thing that I dislike about both CGC and CBCS, okay? Because they had the cake and they ate it too. They already took your money and my money to create our books. But when con season is there, they take off to go to New York to bring home another 10,000 books, bring in another $200,000 in revenue, and then slow down the process because they take the money up front. It's just a crazy process that consumer is willing to do.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that bugs me from day one, and I complained about that to the CBCS guy. And then they went on and they do something different where they bill people only when they start grading. That was one of the things that I push, and when they start CBCS, they did that. And then they changed the policy like a year later because they want to grab the money up front like CGC.
Yeah, it's getting in the way of their money.
Yeah, and that's when I said, bye-bye. I said, first of all, I'm not going to sell my books for 5 or 10% less. And I'm not going to pay you upfront because there is no advantage anymore. They didn't like to hear that, but that was my sour point with CBCS was when they changed the policy, because I thought the whole reason behind the change of policy was pure bullshit. For those that don't remember, you can go back in history and see the reason why they changed the policy. Deadpool 2323 says CBCS is having real issues. They have, their turnaround time is suffering for sure, from what I heard. They have, they are slow because they are busy. Okay, so it's just one of those things where, regardless of what I say or what I do or what I think, there are plenty of people that love CBCS. Otherwise, they'd be like PGX. Submit your book, get a grade tomorrow. Oh boy.
Yeah, those PGX books you had in one of your videos were just insane grades. This is so overrated.
I trust me, I see insane stuff from CBCS, from PGX. Every week I do those videos, but most of the time I ignore it because it's like beating a dead horse, right? to me, it's just like beat a dead horse. But last week, I'm just like, okay, I had enough of this bullshit. Somebody got to call this out because, come on, that book that had tape on every edge on both front and back cover,
it said some tape or something like that.
Moderate tape on the cover.
Moderate tape, that was the word.
Tape. What kind of bullshit is that?
I guess the entire cover wasn't covered.
Yeah, might as well take a big piece of masking tape and just do the whole cover, then it become heavily taped. That's the biggest disappointment I have with PGX is that they have every opportunity to do things that can make them better.
Legitimate, yeah.
But they keep doing stupid things like this, and I'm just like, good God. Alex, the comic hoarder, is here. Hello, Alex. As well as Biggies, as well as Rack718. As far as tonight, you guys are welcome to stick around and carry the show past 8 o'clock if you wish. If you have to run, let me know. I don't have any urgent things going on tonight.
I got my DVR all set, so just a PSA for everyone watching. If you don't have your DVR set, the premiere of X-Files is tonight at 8 o'clock. So No one's going to hold against you if you stop and run to your TV right now.
Assuming that you are a fan of the X-Files.
Correct.
When you ran to get the to set your DVR, Patrick, that's when I told Anthony that I'm not a big fan, but I dated a girl way back in those days where she was a big X-Files fan, and she bought me a set of X-Files comic books, including the Ashcan issue 1.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
That's where the discussion.
Oh, I came in on Ashcan. Okay.
Because I'm just like, yeah, I still have it somewhere in the boxes. I never throw it out because it's just a neat item to have, but at the same time, I'm like, it's not rare. It's not.
Was that produced by Topps, the company that made baseball cards?
Correct.
Yeah.
I have issue 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's really kind of weird paper, right?
It's been decades.
Yeah.
I touch it, so I can't tell you.
Yeah, I remember it being kind of weird, almost like wax paper.
Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember that, it's a cool looking cover. That they have the image of both of the lead actors.
It's kind of a painted cover.
Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely a good looking photo / painting kind of covers.
I thought it was odd that they picked Wednesday night for that show. I don't know why, because I remember when it first came on, I think it was on Friday nights, and then they switched it to Sunday night.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it was on Fridays.
Yeah, and it worked on Fridays because I know a lot of people that were like, say, newly parents and weren't going out on Friday night anymore. It kind of gave them something to do. And it hit the perfect time for me because, everyone that I knew that was in their 20s, late 20s, and, starting families, you had babies at home and stuff, and you weren't going out on Friday nights like you used to. And everyone watched that, and then they would watch the Lance Henriksen show afterward. He was like an investigator of supernatural things.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, what was that called?
But I think that's the reason why I am not big on the show Supernatural right now.
Oh, I don't like that show.
Yeah, I am. I gotta say that I'm big on thriller, crime thriller, suspense. But when it comes down to Supernatural, it's just not my thing. I can't bring myself to it. I'm just like, oh, it's a drag. I'm just like, yeah. It just doesn't work for me. My mind just does not find that stuff interesting. I just can't help it.
I like the way the actors play amongst each other. Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny, I always thought they were really good together. The best episodes for me were the one-offs where they go to a small town and there'd be some kind of monster or something. That appealed to me the most. I didn't like the whole alien culture thing that they would try to bring the whole way through, Smoking Man and all that stuff. I don't know. I like the one-off characters.
Go to CGC. One thing I have to do tomorrow before I call CGC is, figure out if I'm going to bring something. Because usually I bring some stuff to have it graded and then drop something off, pick something up. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do it this time. I might just go up there and pick things up and come and not dropping off anything tomorrow.
You said you were going to call first, right, to see what time is it?
To find out if it's going to be Friday or Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And then
you should do a live chat while you're there.
That's what I'm saying. You should do that.
Well, unfortunately, they won't let me photo. They don't let me do the camera inside the building.
Just get like an Abraham Lincoln hat and poke a hole in it and stick your camera in there.
No one will notice, Nick.
No one will notice.
Oh, they lurk on my channel.
Wear that top hat that's like on that Haunted
and
12.
The worst thing that happens is you get grabbed by security, and that would make you get so many hits if that happened.
Yeah, but if you have never seen the inside of CGC lobby, it's pretty nice.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's the CGC lobby area is like a fancy hotel room.
Is there like the viewing room? Is it like when you go to a bank and you have a security deposit box?
Well, the way CGC building is like when you go into the waiting area, they have like a couch, a couple of nice chairs, like leather chair, fancy stuff, nice furniture, nice marble floor, and then they have a big screen TV, so you can sit there and watch TV. And then they have
watch Comic Book Man.
They have it on Fox. They have it on Fox or CNN. Yeah.
Oh.
It's never anything else. It's always either CNN or Fox.
I know who's working that day.
Yeah.
And then they have three I think three or four empty room. Okay, and inside each room is a desk, a couple chairs, and so when you drop off or pick up, that's where you go. You can sit and wait in the waiting room, but when they come out from the vault with your books, then then you go into the private room, and then you can examine your slabs and things like that, and do the exchange there. But that's how it is. And
That's
I always
interesting.
see people comes and go. There's always kind of people that comes and go, and the owner of CGC, I can always tell when he's there because he have a fancy Maserati car parked right up front.
I guess he's doing well.
Yeah, great idea.
Yeah, you see the staff parking a lot with Hyundai and Kia, and then the owner drive the fancy $400,000 Maserati.
And Nick, and Patrick, have you guys considered going to the New York Con this year? I know, Nick, you were talking about it briefly last week. Any thought to it? It would be nice to,
But I told Patrick, well, the potential con that we can meet up. I spoke to the wife, and it turns out the wife is away that week.
Okay.
My wife is doing a girl thing that week with her friends. They're all going on a cruise.
Okay.
So it's just me and Anthony if we meet up with you guys.
That would be great.
So that's right now. That's potentially is what can happen. I don't know yet. Anthony is not into it. He's just like, I don't want to go, Dad.
Well, my wife would like to go, and
yeah, I told him that Anthony is always resisting of going because actually he said that he would go if we can skip the driving.
Just get into the transporter. You'll be there in 5 seconds.
And I told him that
that's what Benadryl's for.
I think it takes like 10 hours.
Okay.
To drive or something like that, and we'll see. When the time is near, this spring break we are driving 9 hours. So we'll see how we do on that 9-hour drive.
Well, if Anthony doesn't go, who's going to be watching Little Reaper the whole time? You better make sure he's wearing his sports gear.
You could chain them together like those two guys in Hulk 182.
Oh, God. Yeah, but Little Reaper will chew through the chain.
Well, my friend Mike, he goes down to New York every year. He went to 23 cons altogether last year.
Have you ever been there, Patrick?
No. I mean, I've been to New York City, but I've never been to the New York City Comic Con.
Yeah, it's very congested. I'll just put it to you that way.
I have a question here from Biggie's.
Enrique.
Yeah, and Enrique asked is it faster for me to drop it off in person than anybody else submitting? And my hunch is it's a little bit faster, but not that much. Because think about this: if you ship to CGC, there is a step that I'm skipping.
Yeah.
That step is the guy opening the box and doing the unboxing and the categories and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before those books are going into the waiting area. So when I'm shipping, so of course you had to include in the 2 or 3 days of shipping, right? So it adds time. So for me, driving there in 20 minutes, that beat the hell out of 3 days shipping.
Yeah.
So but the moment I drop off the book and the guy, for those that mail in the book, okay, I can tell you this. I'm not sure how long it takes. For those that ship in the book, tell me how soon it shows up on their website as far as book receive. Like how if you a member of CGC Forum, you can log in onto your account and see the progress of your submission, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, when I drop off the book in person, within a few hours of the same day, the books are marked as received on the website. within the same day. So I'm not sure how soon that will show up if you ship them the book. Okay. So if you ask me like how, but from that moment on, from the moment that it say receive, it is no faster or no slower than any other methods.
You know what though? I think the lots to be said though. You don't have to worry about shipping damage because
yes, I was just going to bring that up.
Remember, Alex did a video not that long ago where he sent some books down there, and they contacted him and said there was shipping damage, and that stunk because the books he thought he was going to get higher grades on, he didn't get as high grades, and
But we could press it out for you for an extra charge of whatever.
Yeah, I think they charge 10, don't they, Nick?
They are so far behind in pressing.
Yeah,
I believe they are like 3 months behind.
Yeah, they outsource that, right, to another.
No, they do it in-house.
Oh, they do it in-house?
They bought the company that did the pressing.
Okay.
Yeah, CSSA or whatever they called themselves.
CCS.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
CSS or CCS. Or,
There's a bunch of initials in there.
Yeah. One day I'll learn what they mean.
S. I'm not sure if it's CCS or CSS or.
It was that Matt something or other. He owned it.
Matt Nelson.
That's it, Matt Nelson. Yeah.
He bought it, and they bought him out. He was in Texas. He was in Texas, and they bought him, and he moved all the way to Sarasota.
Yeah.
But yeah. But so as far as it's the same thing with as far as saving time. So where the biggest saving is also after the book is slabbed. So once the books are graded, I check the website every day to see when it is. Because even when it's graded, it's not ready yet to be picked up. It has to be ship and save. Okay, that's a category that they put in, like ship and save. I mean, that the book are a check for quality control, and they put it in the vault. That's when you can call up CGC and say, okay, can I pick up the books? And for me, it can be 24 hours later. Okay, if I call, say at noon today, and say, can I pick up the books at 10 o'clock tomorrow? Most likely they will say yes. Okay. It's rare they will say, no, you have to do it like 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. or whatever it is. But next day, for sure. Now, if you live far away and they need to ship the books, who knows when it takes, what kind of process go into for them to take that book, wrap it up, and put it in a box. I'm willing to say that take longer than me pick it up the next day.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's nice and convenient to be, in a location where you can just simply drive there and skip all those extra steps.
Yeah, so for me, no doubt, it saved me. Like I said, it's 20-minute drive. It's not a big deal. It's an easy drive. It's literally 2 exits from my house. I get on the highway, 2 exit, bang, I'm there. Usually the meeting take no more than 2 minutes. And then off I'm going, so it's nice. I mean, I'm spoiled, when I hear people complain about long wait, I'm like, not for me, not for me, not a big deal.
Yeah, for that shipping step, I'm always a little nervous about submitting, because you never know sort of damage that could happen.
Oh, I know. I remember when Alex opened his books up, I just felt bad for him because it was like it was Christmas Day and he opened his present and it was broken. It sucked.
Yeah, when it comes down to pressing, a lot of people ask me about pressing, like normally I would say, submit to CGC and have their own in-house to do the pressing, but the problem is they are so far behind. I mean, if you can find a professional presser that can do it for you quicker, by all means, do that and submit it. I don't think there is any advantage to use CGC in-house presser.
No, I think there's a misconception that people think you'll get a higher grade if you let them do it, but the grading guys don't have anything to do with the pressing. Yeah. They probably aren't even aware if it's been pressed in-house. So
yeah, it's hard for people to believe that, right? They're like, oh no, they gotta be, But I'm just like, trust me, if you are a grader at CGC and you had to grade 300 books a day,
you
have time to sit there and say, gee, is this book come from ETA Nick? or this book come from some fucktard that I don't like,
Oh, those keeping score at home. It's the first one of the night.
To go because it's easy for them to do that if they want to.
Yeah.
To who submit the book. It's not like it's impossible to do so. But 300 books in 8 or 9 hour span. That's a lot of books.
Oh yeah, I'm amazed that they can do it.
So trust me, I
think I'd go blind if I had to do that.
I would hate the hobby if I do that.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
They hire non-collectors.
People ask me all the time, Nick, why don't you go get a job with them? Just because I can grade does not mean I want to be a slave.
No, just good at something doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm good at driving a car, but I don't want to be a taxi driver.
Well, it's tough work, for Steve Barak, the head of CDCS, to do this now for so many years. Woo, he graded thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of books in his lifetime. That's just insanity. I have a hard time grading my 3,000 books collection.
Yeah. Believe me, that's why I'm looking to shrink my stuff down.
I am about 2/3 done.
Oh.
3,000 books that I consider not keepers, because ultimately I probably weed it down to 300 or 500 at the most. Of the 3,000 I have left in those 3 black cabinets, I have graded and scanned 2,000. So I'm getting there. I have done the A to the P.
Oh, yeah, you're
P and R. So I'm down to the S, the T, and the X.
I think you're going to get slowed down when you get to the U, though, aren't you?
Well, the X-Man is the most.
You don't file under Uncanny?
No, I file under X. It's just easier that way.
Okay.
But yeah, because basically it's the last box, the last shelf, because there's nothing after X. For me, I just put everything in the X, and that's be done. So yeah, so I'm down to the last 1,000 books, and it took me 3 years to do 2,000.
Yeah, and that's doing it a lot. I know I rebagged and boarded all 25 long boxes and 15 short boxes that I have, and it took me over a year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've been just getting rid of a lot of stuff that I just don't want anymore. Just trying to make room for the ones that I really, really want, or ones I really want to keep and give to Little Reaper and so forth. Some are just expendable.
Yeah. Like I said, a lot of this stuff are just, as I mentioned in other videos, the more you buy, the more work you will take to sell them later.
Oh, yeah.
Or just to take care of them.
Yeah. Just even to store them and all that stuff. They just take up so much damn room.
Yeah. They take up room, and you don't get to see them as frequently.
But I think that's one of the reasons why I don't do too many tag videos or contest videos. It's because sometimes it requires you to go get a book. Yeah. And I'm like, well, shit, I don't want to move all these boxes and get that book out. I'm like, eh. It's like, well, I got a box right here. This is my favorite cover.
Yeah, that's why I started now every Friday. I just show whatever I picked up during the week. Because I want to get there, because now I have my stuff organized. I don't want to have these stacks of books waiting around until each quarter to do here's my spring haul video, and it's 200 and it's 35 minutes long, and
Yeah, I still have to file away some books. I still do. I mean, I filed most of them away, but there's still some books I still have to file away. I'm just like, ugh.
I keep the stuff that I got, for Christmas, and some of the bigger books that I got, I keep up on my rack up here. But I rotate that out. Yeah,
so do I. I have 2 comic book walls. They each hold about the top shelf holds 4 slabs, and the bottom shelf can hold up to 5 books. So I switch some of them out every few months whenever I get a cool book that I like, and so forth. And those are the ones I like to look at and just take down and so forth.
One of the questions earlier was, when did I start to, well, over the many chat and videos, I talk about I talk about the process of me not wanting to collect slab or high grade books, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the reason is slab took up so much room.
Oh yeah, you were showing all those shelves that you had.
At one point, I had like 900 slabs, and it was insanity.
That's a lot.
900 slabs. Jeez.
Yeah, I had.
Would you slab everything you have?
And
He was slabbing TV guides. He was slabbing everything.
900 slabs took up more room than 3,000 books.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, because each slab is the thickness of like 3 books or 4 books.
Yeah.
The weight.
You know? And part of it too, because I told the story before, I bought a big Bronx collection that has like so many 9/8, and I submit them, and I had like 600 plus 9/8. It was just, this is over a 1 year span where I submit like 1,000 books.
Oh wow.
And
you're one hell of a customer.
Yeah. I was going to CGC, dropping off a long box at the time.
They had coffee waiting for you when you got there.
You get a mug with his name on it.
I got the VIP service. I'm just
they have one of those foot massage bubble things going when you walk in.
Yeah, it's going to be a 5-minute wait, Mr. Vu. Would you care to take advantage of some of our?
Would you like to see our champagne room?
I was offered water every time I got there. Like some water.
They offered him Voss water.
No, it make the waiting not so bad, because you submit 100 books, you pick up 100 books, and then you drop off, and it's a non-stop cycle.
Yeah.
And after like a year, I'm just like, I
think I might have a problem.
I'm like, why do I have like so many slabs? I'm just like, it was fun to have like so many 9/8s, and I had first of a kind many times.
Like what? Give me an example. Which one?
A lot of Bronx Marvel, like the first 9/8, like how the Duck issue, the red one, the one that copy Spider-Man 50 with the red.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I had the first 9/8 of that. There are many Marvel Bronx books, like Miss Marvel, Nova, or not Nova, but Miss Marvel, Howard the Duck. There's a bunch of them. There used to be a bunch of guys that's just like on the CGC forum that say, Nick, if you ever get a 9.8 Howard the Duck issued so and so, let me know. I give you $300 for it, because I need that to complete my run, my registry set. So eventually I sold all of them. Okay, because I had like Godzilla, that run. I had the whole run in 9/8.
Have you ever got a 9/9?
No.
See, 10.
In 1,000 submission of that collection, 1,000 submission, I think I got I had a pre-screen for 9/8.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got something like 800 altogether over. Or when it's all said and done, I think I got like 800 9/8s out of like 1,000 books that I submitted.
A lot.
Yeah. So yeah, it was crazy time. It was crazy time.
I only have 30 slabs. I'm amazed that I see some of these videos where they just have box after box after box of slabs. I only have 30. Exactly 30.
Yeah. So on top of me getting like 800 plus slabs from that collection, I also bought a lot from Comic Link or Heritage, or so overall, by the time it's all said and done, I have like 1,000 slabs. I'm just like, oh God, what am I doing? I say 2009 was the height of my madness. That's when I'm just like, that's it, time to sell. That's it, no more. This is stupid. This is crazy. I can't deal with this anymore. And that's when I start to sell.
Have no more room.
I unloaded things. I started to sell on the CGC forum. I had tons of sales thread in the forum. I blow out a lot of stuff. But yeah, it took a while. It took a lot of trip to the post office.
Sounds it. They knew you by name there too.
They do. And the funny thing is, one of the cashier at the post office, he used to be the #1 driver to CGC.
Okay.
And he saw all this. He's just like, dude, I used to be the guy that drive the truck to pick up at CGC. It's insane. How many boxes I had to drop off and pick up, and the security and this and that. He's just like, it was crazy. I hated that, man. I hate having to drive to CGC on a daily basis with a truck because it's so many boxes. He laughed about it now because it's like, I complained back then, but now I have 10 times more Amazon box to deliver.
Back in the day, CGC, that was easy stuff. Now, ooh.
Yeah, I used to complain all these CGC boxes now. Every day it's like 10 times more Amazon box coming in.
I get those freaking smile boxes I can't stand.
Is it smile or is it a devil's tail?
Yeah, so he laughed about it. He actually laughed about, quitting his job and go work for Amazon.
So, Patrick, how many slabs do you have? You say you don't like collecting them, but you showed one. How many do you have in all? Well, for an estimate.
That's the only one that I have that's in my personal collection.
Oh, really? For some reason, I thought you had just a couple of them.
Like no, well, before I started selling, I probably had 30, 40.
Okay.
But I still have some. Like I have New Mutants '98 and '87, and there's some. A lot of the key X-Men books I still have. I just sent in about 10 more. So usually I get them and I immediately sell them.
Okay.
Because then I just use that PayPal money, or if I sell them locally, I use the money to buy more books. So to me, it's just a means to an end. It's not a.
Are you getting closer to getting that special book?
I am actually. A couple of them, I think.
Good. Nice.
Are we allowed to talk about the special book publicly?
No, we're not allowed to.
No, it's
up to Patrick.
It's the one everyone's after. Fantastic Four 1. I want it to be this year.
You want that book, really?
Huh?
Oh, you want that book, really?
Yeah.
You mean you're not going after? I thought you were going after Sleepwalker 1, 9/8.
I have 4 of those. If you'd like one, I could send you a Sleepwalker 1.
No thanks.
It's a 9/8.
I have one. A couple.
Yeah.
No,
I would like to get all the Silver Age keys. I would like a Hulk one. Tales of Suspense 39 is a book I really do want.
Yeah. I would love a Hulk one, just because.
Yeah, a Hulk one would be cool. The one that's weird to me that's Silver Age, and I've never felt the pull to get it is Journey into Mystery 83.
Oh.
I understand what it is, but I don't think the cover's that good. I don't know.
Neither is the Avengers 1, to be quite frank.
No, yeah, and Avengers 1 really, it's not the first appearance of anybody, so
no, it's not.
To get that one either. I mean, Fantastic Four, if you think about it, it was their first appearance. It's the first kind of team, first kind of comic book of their kind for Marvel. It really changed them. It saved that company. I mean, they probably would have gone out of business or been vastly different.
That book that Fantastic Four #1 did it all. It was a mix of the 50s and what they wanted to do in the 60s. They introduced a new superhero team, which was very popular back then with the Justice League, their success and all that. But they still had some of the monster elements from the 50s in it, just in case.
Was a monster.
Yeah, right on the cover.
I mean, look at the first cover with the Mole Man monster coming up out of the ground.
I love that story. I think I said in another video, like some of those early first appearance Marvel Silvers, I didn't care for that much. Like Avengers 1, I didn't like that at all. I didn't really like X-Men #1 too. I didn't like that, but I really liked the Fantastic Four issue #1. I just loved the story in it. I enjoyed. Tales of Suspense 39. I enjoyed that story, even though I was never really a big.
One falls into that category too.
I don't know if I've ever read Hulk #1.
Yeah, I mean it's a total monster story.
I see. I like that. I like that, and the Iron Man, walking around.
I'm with Patrick though. I have never liked Journey to Mystery 83. In fact, that's the only Marvel Age mega key that I have never owned. And I have never even bid on one.
Yeah.
in my history of comic collecting, I have never said, "Oh, Journey into Mystery '83, I got a bid on that." Not even one. Not the thought of bidding on that book never crossed my mind. The same thing can be said about Tale of Suspense 39. I never liked that book either.
I know you don't like the cover.
No, a lot of people love that cover. I detest that cover with a passion more than Journey into Mystery '83. In fact, the only time I bid, I won. And I sold that book so quickly later because I'm just like, why do I own this? I'm like, I don't even like this book. I like Spider-Man, but to me, I'm just like, I don't even like this character, this cover. And
Iron Man.
I sold it, and I never reclaim or try to get that back. So there's two keys that I don't care to own. That's the two Marvel keys. Don't care.
You know what? Another cover though, one of those early silvers that I don't care for is Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, it's kind of
It
boring.
just looks. Yeah, I liked Amazing Fantasy 15. I think it's cool. I like the Hulk, but another one, Amazing Spider-Man 1 that cover just never did it for me. And like the way you guys are saying with Journey into Mystery, and it's another one that I just couldn't care for.
Well, the color the color scheme was kind of boring.
Yeah. There was a couple of things off about that issue. The cover, excuse me.
I like Adventure 1 more because it had the red that at least that pop. It's just that Marvel.
Yeah.
I don't know for a fact, but I think the funny thing about Marvel is I think in the early days they were so cheap in printing that they make a lot of very boring color covers. There's a lot of white covers in
exactly. The X-Men #1 cover is kind of boring too.
Yeah.
You see Jean Grey just standing there doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all she did until she became the Phoenix.
Yeah. She's just standing there.
Yeah, I think it must have come down to they must have priced it if you want X amount of color per square inch on the cover, it would cost you X dollars. So I don't know what the process was. I love to understand the process of how pricing and printing was, because there must be a reason why Marvel has so many boring white covers during the Silver Age.
Well, I think the Hulk one that has a lot. That I like the colors in that. Was that like a bluish color, right? Dark blue. I'm colorblind, so you guys are gonna have to help me out with this one.
Yeah, it's dark.
It looks black to me, but I've been told it's blue.
Correct. It's almost look like purple-ish for me.
Okay. I have a hard time seeing purple.
Well, for me, I have a color stigma with my eyes.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like colorblind in certain things. So I'm not perfect when it comes down to color.
Yeah. Here's a little thing for you guys. X-Men #1. While we're talking about the early Marvel Silvers, towards the end, a panel with Magneto. You know how he has this horn, sort of at the middle of his helmet.
Yeah.
There's a panel where it's not drawn on towards the end. Just a little error that I've noticed in the late panels. Right after I think he's launching the missiles and all that stuff. He has that horn on his helmet the whole time, like right in the middle. But then they show that one panel where I guess Kirby forgot to draw it, and no one said, "Hey, wait a minute, you forgot to draw that one little thing on his helmet." Because then the next time you saw him, next panel, he did have the horn on his helmet.
There are quite a few. Speaking of error.
But there's one too, is with Spider-Man's mask on one of those Silver Age books.
Yeah, the earlier ones, Patrick?
Yeah.
Like which one?
Is that in the Avengers book? It's weird looking, but one thing too I was thinking about the Fantastic Four that I always like too is they kind of were on the outside of the main tights wearing superheroes, because if you think about it too, the first couple of issues they didn't get costumes till issue 3.
Yeah, that's right. And they tried messing around with Thing, putting boots on him and stuff, and this doesn't work. Maybe we'll try it. Maybe it didn't work.
Well, a lot of the way they were though is explorers and things, and kind of like a family that Kirby brought with him with Challengers of the Unknown when he came over, I think.
Yeah.
And as a kid, that's the part that I really loved, and that's why in your thing that you asked, your contest that you're running, I picked an analyst because it just was such a crazy character.
Yes.
Go up in books.
Here's one of the more famous one is you look at X-Men 3. You see when they draw Angel.
Yeah.
The wing, the tip of the wing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so in the later issue, they forgot to erase that wing in the logo. Look at where the wing show up on a tip right here.
Oh, wait, let me see. Wait,
Let me change.
I never noticed that. I never noticed that.
You see it now?
Yeah.
There you go.
I never noticed that before. Oops.
Exactly. It's one of those funny cover
That's
errors
cool.
that's just like
That
somebody forgot to erase the tip of Angel's wing on the logo.
Well, the way they used to do it back then, they probably just used the same setup and they just put the image there.
Yeah. Cut and paste.
Speaking of logos, though, some of my favorite logos were those big banner Detective and Batman logos from the 40s. I loved it when they had them, like the action. They just popped at.
Even action. I like when they use the big logo. I was kind of. I'm not a big fan of the smaller logo during the Silver
When
Age.
they put it off to the side.
Yeah, I'm like,
No, it was very visible. I liked when it was visible.
Like this. The big logo.
Yeah.
And then when they sort of they moved it off to the side, like what I got here.
Speaking of which, see the Golden Age book. Tomorrow is my day to return the books back to the vault.
They can't hang out for a little while longer.
Their 1 month vacation is over.
You got to take more silica packs.
These were the Batman books, right, Nick?
Yeah, they're a bunch of Batman detective book.
But they were the ones you showed in that video, right?
That's when I wore the beanie and I tagged him.
Yes.
Okay. Was that
They took a long vacation. This is probably the longest vacation they had in a long time. But
it's they're entitled to a vacation too,
So tomorrow Anthony and I will go to the bank and put the boys back where they belong.
They're going back to boarding school.
Yep. But it's time. It's time. Now that vacation's over.
Yeah, those books were amazing, Nick.
Yeah.
I loved watching them.
I love taking them back to the house and enjoy them for a month or two. And it's time to bring them back to the bank and see them next year.
They'll be back. It's like Santa Claus. He comes once every year.
Yeah. Who knows? I might bring back something else.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no!
I might bring back a bunch of Marvel Silver Age.
That would be real cool.
Oh, okay. Can we maybe see a Hulk one?
Well, I have never shown the Amazing Fantasy 15.
No, I know.
That's a 6.5, right?
No, I sold that. I did.
You sold that one.
I did what Ben did. I sold the 6.5 and bought a 2.5.
Oh, okay.
And used the money to buy a Hulk one. So I think that was one of the things that I also enjoyed lower grade was at the point where I had like an X-Men 9. I had a 9.0 X-Men 1.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I have a 9.0 and an 8.5. That's just stupid. I'm just like, why do I need two? So I sold them. And same thing with the 6.5. I sold a lot of those books just to get lower grade stuff. And I used the money.
But you also did that to build your golden collection, though, too. Like you had all those really super high grade Marvel Silvers, and you're like, wait a minute, let me get some of the books that I mean, not that I don't want these, but some of the books I really, really want. Just get rid of some of these higher grade books and make the golden a reality.
My thinking back at that point was, I wanted to buy some Golden Age stuff like a Batman 1, things like that, or Tech 31, or Tech 33, or Tech 35, whatever it is. And I'm just like, and I'm one of those people that I don't want to go into debt buying anything.
Right.
Okay, I'm not gonna go and bid something on Comic Link and take 6 months to pay. No, that's not me.
Yeah.
That's not me at all. Same thing with Heritage. I don't care about 4 months interest free, blah blah blah. No, that's not me. I'm not.
That's not the way to do it. Nope.
So one of the things that I decided was, I'm gonna build a war chest, and to do so, I need to blow out all these high grade stuff that I don't really need. Okay, that's the thing. Not that I don't want them, I don't need them. So I'm just like, okay. So I blow out both X-Men 1, Amazing Fantasy, 15. I also have a higher grade Hulk one too.
Yeah.
So I sold that too. I have a Tale of Suspense 8.5, 39.
You couldn't wait to get rid of that one.
Yeah, that was the first one. Just like
you're out.
I sold it to Comic Connect. And but that's the thing. That was the start of me building like a big chest.
Yeah.
And at that point, once I did that, it was fairly easy to bid and buy all the tech, Batman, all that stuff, because they're there. I mean, back in 2010, those books are on auction everywhere.
Yeah, but you brought up a good point though. But like I've noticed that sometimes people, they have to sell their stuff to maybe pay a bill, or just they have to put it on some sort of like 6-month plan to pay something off. That's just like that's not the way to go. I mean, if you're doing something like that, you really need to reanalyze what you're doing, because that could be potentially harmful in the long run.
Yeah. Well, I think you always have to look at, what am I sacrificing to get this?
Yeah.
Is it really disposable income?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why, like, when I wanted to get some of these other ones, like I had a Walking Dead 1, and I said, do I really want a Walking Dead 1, or I want a Tech 140?
Exactly.
I want a Tech 140. You could keep your Walking Dead #1.
Exactly.
Especially after the TV show ends.
Yeah. Just like Ben Tech 31 in the chat, he talked about how Silver Age keys are fairly common.
Yeah.
And so,
they really are.
I agree. It's not like Batman 1. People always say, "Oh, Batman 1." You see them, like, no, you see like the same copy.
Yeah.
Not like you see like 10 different Batman 1 out there. You see like the 2 or 3 garbage copy that keep bouncing around. And the good stuff are staying.
I would think when it comes to Silver Age, what would be considered rare are the high grade copies.
Yeah.
Of those are, because a lot of Silver Age, like you were saying, they use cheap paper, they use cheap covers, and a lot of them were damaged and people weren't really collecting. So you see an abundance of Silver Age books, most of them, in lower grades, mid grades. They're not rare at all. Amazing Fantasy 15, although it's very sought out and very expensive, it's about as rare as Incredible Hulk 181. I mean, I over exaggerate a bit, but they're common, but they are expensive. But they're.
And what's funny is that they are also not rare because a lot of people flip them. Because it's not as if like people buying them and holding them. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Different story where, think about this. Sure, it's not a rare book, but it's also not a book that have 100,000 copy out there.
Right.
So for the fact that it is so common on eBay or any auction, there's a lot about how many people are just speculating and flipping them, not holding on to them.
No, you're right.
So it's not like like when it comes down to like Action 1, where there might be maybe 100 or 200 copies out there. At most, you see 2 or 3 copies up for auction a year. That's it.
Yeah.
Because 99% of the books are in hand that are saying "F you." You ain't seen it, dead. I mean,
I've seen that book at the New York Con. That's the only place I've seen it, and that's probably the same copy I see every year. But
speaking of high grade, I think the next Comic Link in January auction had like an 8.0 Amazing Fantasy 15.
Well, that's gonna get some big bucks.
I think I saw it. Oh, speaking of Comic Link and Comic Connect, I think this is the first year in 8 or 9 years I received no gift from either.
You're off the Christmas list.
I'm off the Christmas list.
Who'd you piss off?
You didn't buy anything.
I did not consign anything at Comic Link last year. That's the first year in so many years. The year before that, I consigned it and sold like almost 30K worth of slabs.
Who's the guy that used to send you wine?
Comic Connect.
No, Comic Connect, yeah.
So that's it. I have
wine.
They're like, screw you, you're off the wine list.
I'm off the wine list, no more. If anybody received a bottle of wine from Comic Connect, let me know what the new label is this year. But yes, this is the first time in 7 years that I am no longer on the Christmas card list. No, not even a Christmas card. Not Merry Christmas.
On the naughty list. They checked it twice.
The thing is, I did not even bid on a book on Comic Connect. It's just,
I've won a few things off of Comic Connect. I never won anything off of Comic Link. I don't think I've ever bought anything off of Comic Link. I haven't. But I've won. So every year I usually get something, at least one thing from Comic.
Isn't Comic Link supposed to be the better of the two?
What, Comic Link?
Yeah.
I don't know. Nick, what do you think?
They have their plus and minuses. I have no love or hate for all three of the auction house. One of the things that I succeeded in doing last year was, I saved myself for the past few years. I want to trim down on my buying. And so I'm not buying any big books. So that's why I didn't buy anything from Comic Connect. I didn't buy anything from Comic Link. I didn't consign anything either because I didn't sell a whole lot of stuff. I did sell some, but not a lot. And, when it comes down to the auction house, some people hate certain companies. Some people love certain company. I bought books from all three major house. There are bargains to be had at all three, regardless of what the bid premium is and this and that is. People always bitch and cry about, Heritage bid premium. I'm just like, use your fucking calculator, okay? The bid premium, don't bid then, okay?
Yeah.
Stop sucking my air, okay? You're wasting oxygen if you can't understand bid premium.
Yeah.
But no, if
it's not big of a problem, then don't bid. Don't go on their site. I mean,
exactly. People just like,
give it a break.
If they charge 20%, I'm just like, let me put it very bluntly. If I have an Action 1 and I consign to Heritage, I'm not giving them 20%, okay? Heritage will offer you 10% commission if you bring them a Batman 1. They will. Only idiots pay 20%. Idiots, I say. You gotta be fucking stupid to not know how to negotiate. But this is the thing that I always have to like. Auction house, whether it's Comic Connect, Heritage, or Comic Link, they all compete for the same book, right? If you have a Batman 1 and you say, I want to put this in auction house, all three would say, give it to me. And if you don't know how to use that to negotiate a fee to your benefit, then you're stupid.
Yeah.
It's that blunt, okay? Yeah. You're stupid.
That's right.
I hear people say stupid things all the time. It's just stupid. You know me, I have low tolerance for stupidity.
I know. So do I.
I can't deal with it. Let me go to Comic Link. Let's see. Winter feature auction.
So they got that Amazing Fantasy 8.5 or whatever it is?
Well, the big book right off the bat is there's an Action Comic 13. That's highly sought after.
Is that the Breaking the Chain one or no?
No, that's the one with the moving train.
I was gonna say it's a train in the left corner.
Okay.
It's faster than the locomotive or whatever.
Yeah, that I like that train. I can see why that book is so sought after because that moving train is a pretty awesome cover.
Yeah, it is cool looking.
It's a beautiful January focus preview. Okay, here we go. I could be wrong. For some reason, I had. Oh, it's a 7.0, not an 8.0.
Oh. Who wants that?
I know.
Yeah. Who wants that low grade piece of garbage?
Right.
Click.
It is a Hulk 1 3.0, Journey into Mystery 83 7.0, Amazing Fantasy 15 7.0, Spider-Man 1 8.0, X-Men 1 8.0, Daredevil 1 9.0. Goodness gracious, as Dr. Von Scher would say.
Yeah, that's some good stuff there.
Yeah, and then you have a Detective 35 0.5.
So what
I
do you
still love that. I love that cover.
The second tier silver books, which I would put like Submariner, Daredevil, Silver Surfer. Where do you think those rank? Because they're not their first appearances.
Yeah, I would put I would put those. I would put all of the 1968 launch in the second tier.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Iron Man 1.
Captain America 100.
Yeah. Doctor Strange 169.
Yeah, all of those.
Number that was. But the coolest Golden Age book is Mask 1.
Oh.
That red cover. Ooh, blazing.
I'm just starting to get familiar with some of those horror titles that are not EC.
Yeah.
From the 50s. And I'm like, wow, I would just love to have some of these. And they're just so outrageously priced.
Yeah. I see, sometimes you see them at shows, and when you do, they're seldom above a 2.5. They're just and I don't know if it's because back then people really didn't take care of their stuff, or they are kind of on shoddy production as far as paper and how they're buying, binding and all that. So they are cool though. Those covers are really cool, and they're weird sized.
Yeah.
They're not like the size of a magazine, and they're still bigger than a regular Golden Age comic too.
Yeah.
Reaper, were you after an Action Comic 252?
Yes. That's one of the books on my list for 2018.
There are 2 copies up for auction.
Oh, what grades?
6.0 and 1.8.
1.5. I want something higher than a 1.8.
But 6.0.
I don't want that. It's like, 6.0 might be a little too high for me. I'm probably looking for a 3.
So what other book is on your list? So I can. You don't need Action 242, right?
Oh no. First, was that Brainiac?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's not this year. What else am I looking for? I am looking for Avengers 4, like Patrick.
Yeah.
I am looking for what else?
Avengers 4. I'm pretty sure they have it. They have a 7.5 copy. It's restored, and then they have a 7.0 with Jack Kirby signature.
Oh,
first page.
First page, right?
Yes.
No, is it slabbed or is it raw?
CBCS. It's one of those CBCS. Oh, it has slight restoration though. Bummer.
I'm also going to be trying to get an Amazing Spider-Man 3 because the one I have is missing the pinup.
And here's a one that you both might have to fight for it. Avenger, this issue 4 is a 5.0. That might be a sweet spot for both of you.
How is it though? Right. Flaw or just accumulation?
Beautiful. It's sharp. If you go on Comic Link and look at it, it's a beautiful. Let me share it so that you both can see. Okay.
Yeah.
That's like Patrick. That's like your next. That's like the next big one you really want, other than the FF1.
Captain America is one of my favorites, and I love that book. Although I will say, the cover isn't one of my favorites.
Once again, it's that white cover. You know, it's like what Nick was saying. It's not none of the.
Not great.
Yes.
Like I think Tales of Suspense 50 is an infinitely better cover.
There you go.
Tales of Suspense what?
58.
Okay.
And I'd say Sergeant Fury 13 is a better cover also.
Sergeant Fury 1's on my list this year.
Oh.
Sergeant Fury and Howling Commandos 1. I'd like to get that one.
That looks really good.
It does.
There you go. Nice and bright white, not yellow, tan, nasty stuff.
It's crisp. No big corner color break. That's a nice looking cover.
Yeah, that's a nice looking 5.0, huh?
I would jump on that.
Okay.
Go for it, Patrick.
You just need to contact Comic Link and ask for the back cover because you don't want to see something nasty back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to see a big water stain or whatever.
Some kid drew a dong on the back cover or something. Just to change topics, how many used college books did you get that didn't have a dong somewhere in them? If you bought a used book,
ones that I didn't draw on, that I didn't draw it on. I don't know.
Every single, and I used to get them and think, who does this? Is there a guy sitting somewhere at a book depository drawing dongs all over college books?
I had one college book. I had one college book that I remember. This was going back years. that said, "I want to bang one of Bush's daughters."
Oh my goodness.
That was an eye opener.
He didn't identify which one, or he didn't care which one.
Yeah, for some.
He didn't specify which one.
Oh, okay. Well,
So he left that for the imagination.
Sorry, guys. For some reason, my camera decided to take a vacation.
it's pulsing with your voice, though. It's kind of interesting. You're kind of like Hal from
He's like
2001.
yes. Nick, you just gotta. Yes,
just a strange Vietnamese version of Hal.
Yeah, so I don't know what I did, but for now, my camera is no longer working. That's okay.
No.
You don't need to see my mug.
Yeah.
My avatar.
We'll just deal with the Hal. You know.
Yeah, you can just see
Yeah,
the avatar with me and the family. So as far as
Oh, there you are.
oh,
you're
I'm
back.
Oh, there we go.
Wait, maybe Hal took over your computer or your
I
camera.
like all those comments.
So what other books are you guys looking for? I can look at Comic Link and see.
I want to get Jonah Hex first appearance, All-Star Western number 10.
That's a good one.
Western.
It's a great cover.
And I have a copy.
Yeah, I talked
do
about that in my video this morning that I did, where I still haven't learned my lesson about, if you see something in front of you that you want, you should buy it. I didn't. I stepped away for a minute, and the guy that was lurking over my shoulder got it. So,
Wow.
yeah,
It's a 7.5 copy on the next Comic Link auction.
oh, really?
Ooh,
Yeah,
That's
sounds
like
like
my
a sweet-
wheelhouse. That's
Yeah.
7.5. It's have a miswrap, but not bad. Off white to white.
and it's raw
How's
or
that on-
CC?
It's slab.
Okay, I might get in, crack it, and fix that.
Yeah, so that's
Is it a miswrap or a spine roll?
no miswrap. I'm pretty sure this book has been pressed.
Oh, okay.
You know,
At this point, I assume all CGC books have been.
I assume everything that is in the newer label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
Pressed.
If I see a brand new label, I kind of, sure, is it a foolproof 100%? No. But at the same time, when pressing is so prevalent.
Yeah. I see we got a bunch of guys that came in here after hours. I see Lords of the Long Boxes here.
Yes,
Hey,
Tim is-
TiVo.
Yeah. Man from Beantown.
Hey, Ben.
Vincenzo C.
Vincenzo.
Sleepy Reader all the way from Oregon's checking in with us. And one of our newcomers that I talked about, Silver Age Dave, is on here.
Yes, have you?
Oh yeah, Silver Age Dave.
Yeah. I think I was one of his first subscribers.
Silver Age
That's-
Dave have a crazy man cave.
Yes, he does. In the heart of Toledo.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, he have
I
a
have
lot
to
of
check
stuff.
out his videos.
Yeah, if I go to there's a con that's just east of Cleveland that I'm probably going to go to this coming year, and I'm wondering if Dave will be going to that one.
No, I haven't been to a con since Tampa Con in 2010.
Oh wow. You're overdue for one.
2010 was my last con year. I went to 2 cons.
Yep.
I went to San Diego Comic Con. Then in the fall, I went to Tampa Bay Con, and the San Diego Comic Con was a disaster. Hated it.
If you go this year, you have to dress as Gwenpool.
Tampa Con was okay, but
That would be worth seeing.
It would be. That would be his all-time highest-rated video.
no, there's no cosplay here. It was just a miserable time. I did not. Well, this is before I make any videos, so we barely take any pictures at the con either. It was just a depressing con to go to because the comic section was so lame. There was nobody there. You can literally walk around all the comic book dealers and browse through any long box that you want to.
That sounds like heaven.
Yeah, but everything is like overpriced.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Wow.
Because they had to pay so much, right?
Yeah, to get in there.
The busiest comic dealer at the San Diego Comic Con in 2010 was Chuck.
Who's
Mile
Chuck?
High?
My High.
Yeah.
Oh.
His booth
Okay.
hit a big booth, right? And there must be 50 people buying stuff, browsing through stuff there. But if you go through the other side where, you know, all the golden age dealers and big time dealers like Harley Yee or you name it, it's like nobody. Ghost town. You know, it's you know, because it was just boring, you know, for me. I'm just like, eh. Plus everything was so expensive because they had to pay, they all had to pay like $10,000, something crazy.
Oh man,
the fee,
that's great.
The table fee is so high that, you know, it just make it so hard for a comic dealer to be there. They had to sell like Chuck from My High. He did the whole video complaining about it. So if you want to understand the economics of the comic dealer at San Diego, go watch Chuck video.
I heard that the San Diego Comic Con's not even that fun to go to though, because it's so packed. And I mean, New York Comic Con is pretty packed too, but yeah. I could only imagine what the San Diego one's like. I mean, sometimes walking around at the New York Con is just a chore, you know. Getting.
This is why I am not. As much as I like to hang out with people, right? I have said this many times. I don't mind going to a con, but I'd rather just
as long as you don't go in the con.
Exactly. I'm not going inside. I'm not fighting through a room full of dudes with backpack.
That's true.
I'm not.
That's true. And then I went with my
homie. Don't play
friend
that.
Michelle.
Homie, don't go through and fight through the long boxes and. No, I don't need that.
Guys, it smelled like pizza rolls and breathe through their mouth.
No, it's like I went this year with my friend Michelle, and I had to sit down for a while. My back was killing me. And all of a sudden, she's making a weird face. And I'm like, what? And then I smelled the air, and I'm like, oh, yeah. It smelled like someone let out something. There was like a shit right behind it. I mean... She got hit with it first, and I got hit. I was like, oh. We quickly got the hell out of there. My back was feeling fine. Yeah. It numbed my back. Yeah, no, I didn't need any sort of like injection in my back. That smelled. I was just fine. I thought, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, Tampa used to have a small con that was pretty decent. You know, Tampa used to have a con like twice a year in this small old convention hall kind of place, right? With a small parking lot. You can go there. My wife and I went there, and it would be not like huge crowd, you know, you walk around, and then they got bought out. Well, a different promoter took over Tampa Con, and now they have it at the big arena, right, where they play the hockey game and all that stuff, and it becomes just like a massive. I mean, every time I see videos of people attending a Tampa Bay Con now with the long lines, I'm just like, there's no way. It might be 1 hour away from me, but why would I want to do that? You know, it's not my thing.
Let's go to the vault. You can have your own Comic-Con.
Yeah. A big part of it too is, you know, I don't buy a whole lot of stuff anymore, and so it's just like, you know, why would I want to go through that? And that's why I don't mind going to a con and just hang out with people. You know, I mean,
I go mostly just so I can meet the creators. I really like meeting the older writers and the older artists. It's fun to see them. You know, I like to go to the panels where they talk and they tell stories of the old times and stuff, and that to me is way more interesting.
Yeah, I did the whole waiting online to meet Stan Lee thing. I did it, and that was it. I was online for 4 hours. One 400-pound guy passed out online, you know, and which was kind of entertaining.
Maybe that was the eminence of the smell. Maybe that was rotting flesh you smelled.
No, that was the year before. I'm talking like this year was the one where someone like had chili in the morning.
Oh,
right before going to a con.
Oh,
but no, the guy, he was like 400 pounds or whatever. He's online. We're at like 3.5 hours. He passes out, goes over the rail. And, you know, the walkie-talkies are lighting up. Oh, is there vomit on the floor? I'm like, oh, shit, I hope not. The guy's getting up. He's getting up. People are helping up. He's like, no, I'm fine. Then he passes back out again, and they shipped him off to wherever the hell, off the line, before he could pass out and crush a few other people underneath him.
Yeah, the last con that I tried to attend, but they canceled was the one in Boston. You know, the year that had the bomb.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So that was the last con that I actually bought ticket because I want to go. And then when the bomb thing happened, because the Boston Con is around October,
Mm-hmm.
and we usually up there with my dad's birthday. So I'm just like, oh, you know, I'm gonna go to a con, and then they cancel and all that stuff. So that was the last attempt I made at going to a con. And after that, I'm just like, you know, I can buy something much faster and cheaper on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
That's true though.
So I just don't, you know, it's not like, you know, I'm just, I don't need to buy filler books for my runs, all that stuff. So I'm just like, it just doesn't make any sense to pay $25 or whatever entry fee to go inside and fight through the crowds to do all that stuff. And
yeah, you know, I can say it is a lot more fun if you go with people though. As you go as a group, it's a lot of fun. My friend Mike and I, we go to them, and it just the ride there is fun, and you get that same feeling you used to get when you were a kid and you had a sleepover at your buddy's house, just for that 2-3 hour time period.
Your buddies let you sleep over the house? They would never let me sleep over their house.
I sleep in the car.
They didn't want me anywhere near their house.
If you think of like when we went to Doylestown, it was that same thing where
it was great.
We were dealing with comic books in that, you know, in that weird little town, and just you didn't worry about all the other stuff. That's why I like going to them. I don't buy very much when I go to them anymore. You know, I did get that Iron Man #1. That was cool to get that there. I usually try to get one big book when I go to a con.
Yeah.
Just focus on one. Because you know, like you said, I don't have fillers to run in anymore. You know.
Yeah. Whenever Little Reaper is old enough to go to Disney, and you want to take him to Orlando, I definitely will meet you up there. We will hang.
Oh yes, Nick. I definitely want to.
Less than an hour and a half from my house.
Well, you know I will. I will contact you. I mean, we would like to take him pretty soon. He's still. I don't think he's too young now. But maybe another year and a half when he starts. He recognizes Mickey Mouse and all the Disney characters.
I think age 4 or 5, you know, would be the youngest I would recommend, because it is. It can be, depending on when you go, it could be really hot.
Yeah.
Some kids don't do well with crowds, you know. I know my son doesn't like it, so it was tough for him to deal with. That's why Comic-Con was a disaster.
Yeah. Okay.
He hated the crowd. He couldn't stand it. He freaked out. So it's just one of those things where, you know, like I said, I have always tell people that, you know, if you want to hang out or meet me, just let me know. If you go to, you know, Tampa Bay Con or Orlando Con or whatever, and I don't mind an hour and a half drive. We just gotta meet up at some restaurant, have a food. But I'm not. There's no way I have no desire.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Patrick. He contacted me and says, "Hey, I'm going to be down your way. You want to meet up?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." We found a halfway point, which happened to be Doylestown. So yeah.
We actually were trying to get Don to meet us too.
What was that?
We were trying to get Dr. Von Schiller to meet us.
I didn't know that until you walked in the store. You said, "Oh yeah, I was trying to get." I was like, "Really?"
I wasn't going to tell you. I was just going to show up. I was going to go get John because he was 45 minutes away from my hotel.
I mean, if he would have came through the door too, I would have been like, "Oh my god!" I'd be like, "Oh, okay, hi."
I thought it would have been funny. I was going to send him in first.
Oh jeez!
Like he just happened to be there.
I hope that his health is good enough that next time he's in Florida, we can figure out a way to meet up.
Oh yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
But he has been in Florida now twice since I met him, but both times it's just not convenient for either one of us to meet because he come down to Florida on the other side of the state.
Okay.
Because his parents live north of Miami.
Like Jupiter, Florida, or something like that.
Coral Gable.
Oh, okay.
I think I could be wrong. But he's north and more to the coast, like, you know. And so usually he come down, hang out with his parents, and drove. You know, he drove all the way back to Philadelphia. It's crazy, you know. So for me to meet him over that side would be at least a 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
You know,
you can meet in the middle somewhere. There's not much in the middle of Florida, right?
Orlando.
Yeah.
Orlando is about as middle as well. Orlando is so big that part of Orlando is to the coast.
Oh.
Okay.
You know, the way Orlando is, think about this. Cape Canaveral, you know, the where they you know, the spaceship and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's it's like on the outer edge of Orlando to the east side. And then Disney and SeaWorld and all that is Orlando to the west side. Because my wife brother live in South Orlando, and it's literally an hour away from Disney. Orlando is huge. It's massive. It's the biggest area of Florida from what I can tell.
The last time I was in Florida was 1991. So I'm due to come back.
Yeah, come on down. You know, like I said, Sarasota, where I live, is wonderful. Okay, it's we have an airport right here, so you don't have to fly to Tampa. You can fly into Sarasota. It's not even 20 minutes from my house. And
that's what I'm gonna do.
You could bring a suitcase full of comics for CGC.
I'll go with Nick. I'll go with Nick to CGC. I'll be like, hey, he's gonna show me around. Let's go to
Nick's special campaign room, viewing room. He's got going.
If you come down,
people come out in their silver bikinis and they hand him his books.
If you come down to visit, I will definitely take you to CGC.
Nick walks in.
I might even arrange a lunch for you to eat lunch with the CGC guys or the CBCS guys or whatever.
And I get to introduce you to Little Reaper.
Oh, awesome.
I told my son about Little Reaper, and even my son,
God.
Yeah, he's like, I'm scared of the little boy.
He's very unique.
I'm thinking, wasn't there a Spider-Man villain named Ramrod that would ram everything with his head? Didn't he have like a chrome helmet? If I remember right, I remember a guy named Ramrod, I think was his name. Some of these Spidey guys on here got to know. They got to fire off here.
Well, for sure, Orlando have a lot of good Vietnamese restaurants.
Yes, you're gonna have to take me to one and take me to the.
So I will take you to some Vietnamese restaurant there. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the best restaurant though is at my house.
And it only serves food on Sunday morning.
no, it probably is. It probably is. I mean, like, you know, when I go to restaurants, I enjoy them, but sometimes, you know, when you're home and you know how to make it and you cook it,
yeah,
it's truly is the best.
Yeah, I cook a lot. You know, I cook a lot. Like I cook a bunch of big dish today. It's Wednesday because, you know, Anthony's home. And I'm like, you know, we're gonna cook something, and I was gonna do a video. I'm just like, forget it. You know, they don't need to see me every time I cook something.
Did I ever tell you guys the time when my wife, when we first started dating, she decided to make meatloaf?
Oh.
Ever tell you that story?
No. Let's hear it.
Oh no, I'm probably gonna get in trouble about this one, but it's worth it. We first started dating. I went to her apartment, and she decided to surprise. I think she was surprising me with a dinner, and she decided to make meatloaf. And I was like, oh, I said to myself, you know, I don't eat red meat, but I'll brave through it.
Take one for the team.
I took it for the team, all right. But then she uses a lot of onions. And I despise onions.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, God. So I'm eating this, and I'm saying to myself, I said to her, actually, excuse me for a moment. I went over to the garbage bin to spit it out. And as I spit it out, I really thought I was going to throw up. It was just, I couldn't take it. The onions and everything. And I went over to apologize to her, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, but I don't onions, you know, does something to my gag reflex. So that's my meatloaf story.
Oh man, yeah, my wife does not like cooking. Okay, so you know, she likes baking.
Okay.
You know, she's more into making, you know, banana bread or zucchini bread or cookies or brownies, so she does most of the baking. If not all of the baking in the house, even though I have the baking degree, she does the baking. But I like to cook. You know, to me, it's relaxing. It's fun. It's where I can just like do stupid things or experiment with things, and you know, it usually turn out okay. So I'm not really worried about, you know. Speaking of food, Patrick, I told Patrick this 10 weeks ago. Mid-October, I wanted to go on weight loss. Okay, so I have since I married my wife, I gained. I say I gained like 5 pounds between marrying her and having Anthony. And since Anthony's born, I gained another 15. Okay, so I gained a total of 20 pounds in the last 10 years or 13 years. So in October, well, 3 years ago, I told my wife I want to lose the extra weight. So she bought me a Fitbit. It's a stupid thing. Don't ever buy a Fitbit, guys. Okay. If you don't know, the Fitbit go around your wrist, right?
Yeah.
But if you do this, it recorded as 5 steps. It's stupid. It's idiotic. Okay. I mean, I remember the first day I wear, I'm just like, I'm sitting here at my desk working on my computer, and they tell me I moved 3,000 steps. What the fuck? Okay. Stupid shit. This. So, and so I, so it was dumb. But I have a horrible. My horrible habit is binging through TV shows at night. I eat pretty healthy for the most part, but when I'm laying there in bed at 10 o'clock and watching the Stranger Things, I can go through half a bag of chips, okay, or snacks, whatever. And to me, that's what has failed in all of my weight loss attempt in the last 3 years, right? I'm just like, I can exercise all I want to, but if I sit there and stuff my face at 10 o'clock at night, 7 nights a week, it doesn't help. It negates every positive effort I put in. Okay, so in October, I told Patrick this. I should have do a vlog, but I never did. I'm just like, I'm too lazy to do this. There you go.
That's Ramrod.
Oh, there you go. That's Ramrod.
That's a little Reaper.
Yes.
So guys in the chat were saying it was a sex toy, but it wasn't. It was this bag.
So mid-October, I told my wife, all this exercise, all this stuff is not going to help if I don't change my eating habit. So I told her from now on, no more snacking after 8 o'clock. I can be up to 2 o'clock watching TV. I'm not eating. I'm drinking a big cup of tea or something. That's it. And I exercise the same way I have exercised the last 10, 15 years. Okay. I do about 12 miles of cardio a week. 4 times a week, I do 3 miles each time. Okay. Whether it's Stairmaster, whether it's treadmill or elliptical machine, I do that 4 times a week, 3 miles. Okay. So over the past 10 weeks, my goal was to lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks. And with that change of eating habit and continuing exercise, I lost 13 pounds.
Wow. Oh, congratulations.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. Yes. Very good.
I dropped 13. So I told my wife, I'm 7 more to go before you met me.
Oh, wow.
Sexy beast.
You'll be wearing that apron and nothing else.
It's like a 6-pack. Yeah. Layer of stuff.
Yeah. Nick's going to be flexing for us.
I said 7 more pounds and you will see the 6-packs again, honey.
Yeah.
Wow. So now that 7 pounds is covering up some 6-pack.
Yeah. Could be that
Congratulations,
guy on the yard drinking an old Milwaukee with cut off Daisy Duke shorts on and no shirt.
Yeah, so I dropped from 157 to 143.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah, so when I married my wife, I was 135. So yeah, it's been, but surprisingly, over the past 10 weeks, I told her, I surprised myself in that I don't have the crave to snack. Like I tell you, it was a horrible habit to lay in bed at 10 o'clock watching Netflix shows and just sitting there and eating popcorn and chips and
Not to mention, I mean, it must have been like sleeping in a kitty litter box with all those crumbs.
Oh, she hates it. My wife biggest complaint is just like, there are so much crumbs in the bed.
Yeah.
That's a good way to get some ants.
Yeah, that's how you get ants.
Awful. It was just, but that's my worst thing. That's why I told my wife, I'm just like, I'm so tired of not succeeding in losing the weight because I have a horrible nightly snacking habit.
But
So-
once you break that habit, though, sometimes, like you said, you don't find the desire to eat anymore. Once you get out of it and you're farther away from it, it sometimes becomes easier to avoid it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like I said, I surprised myself because the first week that I was off the 8 o'clock snack, I'm just like, man, this is gonna be rough because I've been doing this for like 10 years. Ever since Anthony was born, from the time he was a baby, me and him lay in bed, I'd be eating, feeding him milk, all that stuff. So that whole habit, I'm just like, man, it's gonna be so tough to just lay in bed and watch TV and not eat anything. But I did it. I'm just like, wow, okay, it works. So
Hey, congratulations.
Sexy
That's
Beast coming
great.
back.
We're going to have those videos.
Hey.
But unfortunately, guys, I got to cut out. It's Little Reaper's bedtime.
Yes, it's 9 o'clock. Lots of fun, guys. Thank you for joining.
Yes.
us.
Yes, I had another great time. Thank you guys for having me on again. I
What's your
really
schedule like?
appreciate
You
it.
gotta be back teaching next week?
No, in a couple weeks, but my Wednesdays are no longer occupied the way they were in the fall semester. So I'm very happy at that. A couple of days have freed up. It's just a different schedule. So
That's great.
it was just one of those things in the fall that was taking up a lot of time.
Yeah, so feel free. And anybody in the chat room, if you want to participate, I am not opposed to. Everybody is welcome. I prefer to keep no more than 3 people because it's
You want to get the Brady Bunch square thing going.
yeah. So
Unless one of them's Alice. Alice is always welcome.
yeah, anyone in the chat room, if you want to be the 3rd person, just let me know next week, and I will add you and send you the invitation. I have no problem not being the one doing the talking. So hopefully I have a special haul plan. It will be a big unveil of Timely or EC.
Oh,
I'm guessing EC.
It's an easy guess for most people.
Yeah.
The question is, which book? Okay.
I don't know. I'm thinking. I think I have it. But
Okay.
we'll
For
see.
sure, it's not a. I'm not gonna go out with a bang with the decapitation first.
No, I didn't think that. I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking something else.
Okay, so
else.
I already mentioned that Jack Davis is my man. So
Yes.
you can think of all the classical, awesome Jack Davis EC cover.
I'm going with the one where the guy throws his girlfriend off the roller coaster.
Can't say. All I can say is
That's a really good one.
I think I got it, Nick.
I spent a lot of time debating which one to go after. I certainly don't plan to buy all the EC books. So I'm just like, okay, if I was gonna go for some EC, the cover had to speak to me, and about 15 to 18 spoke to me. So there are about 18 books or so in my wish list.
Wow.
I know which one it is, Nick.
I should do a contest to see if people guess.
Do people out there even know too much about EC to guess?
Who knows? Maybe I would do this. Maybe I would say, okay, I might do a contest where I say pick 10 covers that you think I will buy.
Oh, I know which one it is. I don't need 10.
Pick 10, okay?
Wow.
I just need one.
I would do a contest where I said, you gotta pick 10, and the one that got the most right will get a prize. Whatever that is, I don't know.
Most people, they're going to be going online, checking covers, like, oh, Jack Davis, who's that? EC?
It might not be all Jack Davis, but like I said, it's Jack Davis is my favorite of the EC cover artists. But the covers for sure, as I mentioned last week, it's not the one with the guy blow his head off. Okay,
No, I know. I know it's not that one. I know which one it is.
So exclude that one as far as classic. You can count on one of the one I want, but probably won't get for a while. Is the one where the decapitate woman head. Okay?
That's a Johnny Craig cover, though.
Yeah. Who does not like that cover? What EC
I love it.
collector does not like that cover?
I like the
They're not-
one.
They're not EC collectors then.
Yeah. So exclude those two, okay? Because that's just one I don't like. One is the gimme. The rest you have to figure it out. So I might run a contest, which I will announce, I guess, sometime soon, where you gotta pick 10.
I got it, Nick.
And then whoever it is that got the most will win some kind of prize. I had to figure out what prize to give, but that'll be a lot of fun. Okay, so
I got it.
Yeah, so we'll see. There'll be a contest. The question is
10 minutes in your vault.
one of the prize might be this record.
Look at that.
A big one. A big one.
Now, see, those records, you don't have the pictures to go with them, though, right?
I don't know. It's sealed. I bought it from the same seller that I from the same guy that sold me.
Look at that. Look at that punch on the back. That is awesome.
Look at that. It had the mark of the man wolf and Invasion of the Dragon Man. 2 books, okay, on each side. One book on each side of the LP.
You know what's funny is I have that album, Spider-Man album. It's a Power Records. I can't find it now.
Well, Anthony, if you had to cut, you had to go.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, guys, but I do have to get cut. But thank you for having me on the show. I had a lot of fun. I'll talk with both of you really soon. Take care, Nick. Take care, Patrick. Take care, everyone in the chat.
Bye, Anthony.
Nice. See you guys.
Bye.
Well, I will hang on with Patrick for a few more seconds here, and then we go. But yeah, so this might not be the price. I had to figure out what, because not everybody care to have this record.
Yeah, see, I have this one, but you had to have the comics to go with it. It's just a record.
Yeah.
There's no book with it.
This one here, it's a book and record.
Huh.
Patrick, okay?
Yeah, this one, they reference the books on the back. This one has the audio for the Fantastic Four, the Incredible Hulk, and then the Captain America.
This one, they say book and record.
I wonder how big the book is.
And then it say see it and hear it. Okay, so they are the book in here too. So I have no idea. So this might be a pretty cool prize.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we'll see. I might do a video talk about the contest and then put this up as the prize for the one that gets the most right. And then give this away as a prize. All right, that's it, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
Go watch X-Files, everybody.
Yes. Goodbye. Thanks for tuning in. See you all next Wednesday. Not sure if I have a cook show this Sunday, but we'll see.
Bye, everyone.